Good day, everyone! Most especially to all my students of Placida Miquiabas National High School. It's me again, your teacher, Mamshi Ives, saying stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay at home. And also have fun in answering all of your modules. So, we are now on lesson 2. Words and expressions that emphasize a point. I would like to congratulate you. You are done with lesson 1, and now I would like to welcome you to lesson 2. To start with, let us try to find out the learning competencies in which you are going to master at the end of this lesson. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to identify conjunctions, adverbs or conjunctive adverbs, and parenthetical expressions, and of course, use words and expressions that emphasize a point in sentences and paragraphs. Here is also the material that you are going to need, so you have to have your answer sheets. So let's go directly to your first task. So we have task 1. Your first task is to write down 10 conjunctions that you can remember, and you are going to write your answers in your answer sheets. Again, you are going to write down 10 conjunctions that you can remember, and you are going to write your answers in your answer sheets. Are you done, guys? Now let's move on to task 2. So you have to go back to your answers in task 1 and choose 5 conjunctions. You have to only choose 5 conjunctions from your answers in task 1. Now, use each of the conjunctions in a sentence. Do not forget to underline the conjunctions. And of course, you are going to write your answers in your answer sheet. Since you are done with task 2, let us proceed now to task 3. Your next task is to classify the words below and write whether it is a conjunction, parenthetical expression, and adverb or conjunctive adverb. You are going to write your answer in your answer sheets. So there are 5 words. Number 1 is still. Number 2 is in like manner. Number 3, provided that. Number 4, however, and number 5, but. So let us give the answers for these words. Number 1, the word still. The word still is an example of conjunctive adverb. Number 2, in like manner. It's an example of parenthetical expression. Is your answer correct, guys? Well done! Now let's proceed to number 3, provided that. Provided that is an example of, yes, parenthetical expression. Now let's move on to number 4, however. However is an example of conjunctive adverb. Now, last but not the least is we have the word but. But is an example of conjunction. Congratulations, guys! I hope all of your answers are correct. Now, before we will proceed to your next task, let us read the following. Emphasis in writing is important because it helps readers to easily recognize the main points from the text. There are words and expressions that emphasize a point. Some of those words and expressions are conjunctions, adverb or conjunctive adverbs, and parenthetical expressions. So what are these words and expressions? A conjunction is a word that joins words, phrases, or sentences. Some conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or yet, and, example, or etc. We have 5 examples below, and all of the underlined words are examples of conjunctions. Now let us read all of those. Number 1, she bought a pair of shoes and an umbrella. So the underlined word is the word and it is an example of a conjunction. Now let's move on to number 2. I sent him a gift, but he did not receive it. The underlined word is but. Let's move on to number 3. You can write your essay with a pen or pencil. The underlined word is or. Number 4. The information has not yet been analyzed. The underlined word is yet. And number 5, my older brother doesn't want to transfer to another school, nor do I. So an example of conjunction for number 5 is we have the word nor. What are conjunctive adverbs? A conjunctive adverb is an adverb which connects two independent clauses. It shows cause and effect, sequence, contrast, comparison, or other relationships. The adverbs in adverbial phrases that fit the criteria for a conjunctive adverb are always modifiers of the predicate in the first independent clause. The following are examples of conjunctive adverbs. We have accordingly, consequently, also, conversely, besides, and finally. Another examples, we have furthermore, indeed, meanwhile, next, similarly, hence, instead, moreover, nonetheless, still, however, likewise, nevertheless, otherwise, and subsequently. We have here 5 sentences in which all of the underlined words are examples of conjunctive adverbs. So let us read them all. Number 1. Joanne was so happy. Finally, she passed the board exam. The underlined word is finally. Now let's move on to number 2. What a surprise to see you. However, are you happy to see me too? The underlined word is however. Okay, number 3. We were forbidden to attend. Therefore, we stayed at home. The underlined word is therefore. Number 4. I'll meet you later. Meanwhile, I'll check the documents first. Number 5. The students submitted their research paper. Moreover, they were preparing for their exam. Again, the underlined words are all examples of conjunctive adverbs. Now let's move on to parenthetical expressions. What is a parenthetical expression? A parenthetical expression is a phrase or clause that is inserted within the sentence. It interrupts another phrase or clause. Note that the expressions are enclosed in pairs of punctuation marks, commas, or parentheses or dashes. Some of the parenthetical expressions are: after all, I believe, generally speaking, for instance, at any rate, in fact, on the other hand, as a consequence, on the contrary, in the first place, for example, and as a result. So we have 5 examples, and all of the underword all of the underwords are examples of parenthetical expressions. We have number 1, strawberry jam, for example, is good for breakfast. Number 2, Uncle Charlie in the first place paid all the bills to stay away with inconveniences. Number 3, well, as a matter of fact, she did. Number 4, the doctor checks her up. In fact, she is told to have the laboratory tests. Number 5, animals have died as a consequence of coming into contact with this chemical. Again, all of the underlined words are examples of parenthetical expressions. Now let's move on to your next activity. We have task 4. So here is the directions. Pick the word or the correct word to complete the sentence. Write your answers in the notebook. Again, you are just going to choose the correct answer inside the parentheses. Number 1. The city was unprepared for the big snowstorm. The choices are consequently, in like manner, and moreover. All major highways are closed. Okay, the correct answer for number 1 is consequently. Let's move on to number 2. Paul didn't go to baseball practice yesterday, hence, still, and he stayed at home to prepare for his exams. What do you think is the correct answer? Yes, the correct answer is hence. Now let's move on to number 3. The tone of the letter, furthermore, however, so, brought tears to Fiona's eyes. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer for number 3 is however. So let's continue. Number 4, the king, in fact, in like manner, conversely, was furious. The correct answer for number 4 is in fact. Now, number 5. Always speak the truth, however, in order to, or next, avoid problems in life. Again, always speak the truth, however, in order to, next, avoid problems in life. What do you think is the correct answer for number 5? Okay, the correct answer for number 5 is in order to. Now let's move on to your next activity. We have task 5. You are going to read each of the following sentences and pay close attention to the parenthetical expressions. Rewrite each sentence in your answer sheet. Underline the parenthetical expression and insert commas properly and when needed. Again, rewrite each sentence in your answer sheet and you are going to underline the parenthetical expressions and you are going to insert commas properly and when needed. So we have number 1. He became, in other words, a great hero. So you are going to rewrite. First, you are going to underline the parenthetical expression. So what do you think is the parenthetical expression for number 1? Okay, the correct answer is in other words. So again, you are going to rewrite the sentence. So this is now the correct answer. He became, comma, in other words, underline that, comma, then a great hero. So that's the correct answer for number 1. Now let's move on to number 2. He made one big mistake and as a result lost his job. So what do you think is the parenthetical expression for number 2? Okay, the parenthetical expression for number 2 is we have as a result or as a result. So here is now the correct sentence. He made one big mistake and, comma, as a result, comma, lost his job. So that's it for number 2. Now let's continue. Number 3. I'd like a job which pays more, but on the other hand, I enjoy the work I'm doing at the moment. So what do you think is the parenthetical expression for number 3? So the parenthetical expression for number 3 in which you are going to underline those words, we have on the other hand. So that's an example of parenthetical expression and then you are going to underline that when you are going to rewrite the sentence. So again, the correct answer for number 3 is this one. I'd like a job which pays more but, comma, on the other hand, comma, I enjoy the work I'm doing at the moment. So that's the correct answer for number 3. Let's move on to number 4. In my opinion, it's a very sound investment. So where is the parenthetical expression in number 4? Okay, so the parenthetical expression in number 4 is we have the words in my opinion. So you are going to underline that. So here is now the correct answer for number 4. In my opinion, underline that words or those words, then comma. It's a very sound investment. So that's the correct answer for number 4. Now let's continue with number 5. He is welcome to come along provided that he behaves himself. The correct answer for number 5 is this one. He is welcome to come along, comma, provided that, so you are going to underline provided that, comma, he behaves himself. So that's it guys for task 5. I hope all of your answers are correct. Now let's move on to your next activity. So for task 5, here is your activity. Nowadays, social media is one of the tools for information and entertainment. However, it could also be a source of some fake news, cyberbullying, and others. As a student, what should you do to become a responsible social media user? Write a 500-word essay on how to use social media responsibly. Do not forget to use words or expressions that emphasize your points. Make your own title for the essay. So you are going to write your answer in a bond paper. Again, you are going to write a 500-word essay on how to use social media responsibly. You are going to use expressions that emphasize your points and make your own title for the essay. You are going to write this in a 1 sheet of bond paper. Are you done, guys? Now let's continue with task 7. So you are going to use each word or expression in a sentence. Write your answers in your answer sheet. Again, you are going to use these words or expressions in a sentence. Number 1, hence. 2, thus. 3, for example. 4, in most cases. 5, and. Again, you are going to construct sentences or a sentence using the words or examples below. And that's all for lesson 2, guys. Congratulations! So how is your self-directed journey in learning? Life is more meaningful and exciting if you have learned many things. So keep up the good work. It's me again, your teacher, Ma'am She Ives, saying adios.